Hello, YouTube! This is Lefty79 from the NFL Stableford League, the commissioner of the NFL Stableford League, back with you once again with the NFL Stableford Cup Draft Show. Now, this is Stableford Cup 3. So, this is the third installment of this prestigious tournament, and I'm excited to announce the teams that have been selected by our 12 captains, who I will introduce here shortly. But first of all, on the screen right now, I want to congratulate the Baltimore Ravens, who went through 31 other NFL teams to win the NFL March Madness tournament and be the national and win the national championship. So big congrats to Eddie for doing that. Be More Golf Pro. He ended up beating the Rams in the finals, and it was a hell of a game. It was a hell of a Final Four, so I want to congratulate all the Final Four teams that also made it that far, as the Bills also made it, and I want to say uh, there was one other team, and I will get to them shortly. But at the end of the day, that was a great Final Four. Uh, Kudos to all the teams that participated. I know there was a little bit of confusion at times with the format, but you know what? I thought it went really well, and it was a good side event to do, and I really thought that it kind of tied in pretty nicely to what was going on in the basketball world at the time. And also, I want to congratulate Bino, who also made the Final Four, a big underdog there to get that far, to have the Battle of Los Angeles against the LA Rams, and Kevin, who ended up winning that battle to make it to the finals against Be More Golf Pro and Eddie, who took home the title. And because of that, the Ravens received the number one pick in this NFL Stableford Cup 3 draft, and the other three teams that made the Final Four became captains as well. So that was a way to get some incentive for those players who made it that far, and I appreciate everybody that played, and some of the new players that definitely surprised, and there's some new players that are going to be in this draft who have never participated in the NFL Stableford League before, and they're in for a treat. But without any further ado, let's introduce the captains of this draft, who will be making their 12, who will be making their two selections each. We got 12 captains, 12 teams that will be participating in NFL Stableford Cup 3. First of all, we obviously have the Ravens of Be More Golf Pro. And we'll go through here and just hit them in the order of their first round selection. Next up, we'll have the Jaguars, who will be picking second, and that will be Corey. And he had a good March Madness as well, made it all the way to the Elite Eight. And also barely missed out on making the playoffs in the NFL Stableford League last season. The third selection will belong to CF and the Detroit Lions. Uh, Also a perennial playoff power in the NFL Stableford League. He actually won the league in the first year. A little bit of a struggle in March Madness, but I believe he did win a game. But as it is, he qualified to be a captain for this year's Cup. The fourth pick in the draft, and I know he's not too thrilled about it, but it's Crushtastic. Jason also basically got in via record in the NFL Stableford League, had a playoff season in the NFC West, and they will be represented in this draft, and they'll be picking fourth in the first round. The fifth pick in the draft will belong to. Let's head the way that they were supposed to be here. It is going to belong to Why So Serious 21 in Austin, who will pick fifth. Now, he missed the playoffs in the league, but he had a really good run in March Madness that allowed him to leapfrog a few teams to get to this fifth spot, and we'll see what happens when his pick comes up. It's a two-round draft, just so everybody knows. There will be two selections, two rounds. So the Broncos, in this case, they'll be picking 5th and 16th in this draft, as Eddie will revert back to his original spot in the second round, which will be the 21st pick. So, because Eddie won March Madness, he was able to leapfrog, I want to say, 8 teams to get that number one spot. So, just a little bit of incentive there for him. And now we'll move on to the sixth pick in the first round, and the sixth captain. And this is a player that we all know pretty well. He's a happy T friend founder, and he is the Los Angeles Rams of Up and Up. That is Kevin. And then we have the lucky number 7 pick coming up here, and that will be Franz and the New England Patriots, who made the playoffs and also had a solid run, getting to the Sweet 16 in March Madness. And then the aforementioned Buffalo Bills, who will be the 8th selection in this draft after their successful run to the Final Four. And then the 9th selection, who will we have here? The Minnesota Vikings of Andrew, who had a little bit of a struggle in March Madness, but had a heck of a regular season in the league, and that gets him down in this 9th spot in the first round. And then 10th, a guy who's had a really great year in the league and had a really good March Madness, making it all the way to the Final Four, the Los Angeles Chargers of Bino. Just a really, really solid player. And then we head to the 11th pick. And who will that be? Who's our 11th captain? Well, he's the defending Super Bowl champion, and it's Jason C.K., future Buckeye, otherwise known as the Cincinnati Bengals. So that's another great team, and they're going to be tough in this Stableford Cup, unlike last year's version, which we won't talk about. And then we go to the 12th and final pick, and the 12th captain in this Stableford Cup. He's been in every one, and he's a class act and a guy I love having in the league. It's the New York Giants of Tag Rocket, who just missed out on winning that Super Bowl, but had a little bit of a hiccup in March Madness, but he's here in the Stableford Cup, of an event that he actually won back in the first inception, the first time around with the Giants, as they defeated the Cardinals to win Stableford Cup 1. And I believe Stableford Cup 2, that was last year, that ended up becoming the Miami Dolphins, who unfortunately are not able to participate this year, as Snowflake's tank is undergoing some maintenance right now. So that is preventing the Dolphins from participating as they would have qualified for this draft. But as it is, we did find a replacement, and that replacement was Corey, and we're happy that the Jaguars were able to make it today. And with that being said, we have all the participants here in the draft room. All the war rooms are ready to go, and we're going to go fast and furious through these 24 picks. I'll give a little bit of background on each one as they come up, but as it is, let's find out who will be taken first in the NFL Stableford Cup III draft. Well, let's take it up to the commish, as I believe we have the pick. Let's find out. And there it is. We have a pick, and that pick will now be announced by our commissioner. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Stableford Cup III draft show. I am your commissioner, Lefty79, and I want to thank everybody for being here today. With the first pick in the NFL Stableford Cup III draft, the Baltimore Ravens of Be More Golf Pro select Insane Eric. Insane Eric, what a selection. This is a new player in the NFL Stableford League. He is very excited to get the to hit the ground running with this Ravens squad, and I know he's a heck of a player. He's up in platinum. I don't believe he's ever been in the league before, but he is definitely someone that was on a lot of people's radars, and I believe he was leading the poll in Discord for the number one selection, and Eddie made him that exactly here today. As Eric is definitely a solid player. I see the Ravens having a great run with him on their squad here in Stableford Cup 3. Uh, Definitely a choice that is going to be very widely appreciated in Baltimore. I think the fans are going absolutely crazy right now, knowing that they have this player on their team in the Stableford Cup 3. And as the Stableford Cup 3 format, I'll go a little background here on this format. It's a three-person team, and each player is going to play 3 holes per 9, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it shakes out. As you play 3 holes, and if you birdie or better each hole, you'll get an extra point, and that's what we're calling the first and 10 point system. It's a new feature, as each team will have handicap. And obviously, within seeing Eric how good of a player he is, he does not have any handicap. So Eddie went with another guy who he knew pretty well to make the number one pick in this NFL Stableford Cup 3 draft. So now, with that said, let's see where the chips fall here. For the number 2 selection, we're getting word that Corey has made a selection, and let's find out who that is going to be. With the second pick in the NFL Stableford 3 Cup draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars the Jacksonville Jaguars of Corey select Pat Strife, 21. Pat Strife is the number 2 pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars, a solid pick for Corey. He has no handicap, so there will be no handicap for that selection, but at the end of the day, you're getting another great player here that's coming off the board. And Pat had a great season with the Steelers. He was able to make the wild card round. Also had a couple big wins in March Madness. And wow, I'm looking forward to seeing how he performs with the Jaguars. As definitely some mutual respect here from 2 AFC teams and 2 AFC rivals here. And let's see how they do when they come together in the NFL Stableford Cup 3. Now, just another piece of nugget of information about the Cup. The 3 pools of 4 teams each will be drawn after this draft and will be announced tonight. We'll see what those 3 pools are who those teams are going to be in each pool. But right now, we're still picking the teams, and boy, oh boy, we've had some big talent taken already. Some big guns are already off the board. And we still got a lot more left here, folks, as we are getting word that the Detroit Lions, I believe, have made a selection. Let's find out from our beloved commissioner who that's going to be. With the 3rd pick of the NFL Stableford Cup 3 draft, the Detroit Lions of CF select Horace Phoenix. Wow, Horace Phoenix. Now that's a new player, another new player, along with Insane Eric, who are new to this league and new to the master difficulty settings in this format. Wow, the Lions went out on a limb there. I think he's a hell of a player, but we've never seen him in the league before, and the Lions have him. And wow, that's going to really help them in this cup to have a player of his caliber who's played in a lot of tournaments, who's got a lot of history, and definitely a well-traveled player. And wow, he's bringing his talents to Detroit, and I think that's really going to help them make a nice run in this cup. So what a big pick there. 3 big players. That's like our big 3 that just got taken. 1, 2, and 3. And definitely, I don't know if we have any surprises there, Mel. Do you think there's any? Do you think there was anything going on there with those 3 picks, or do you think it looked like it was pretty much chalk to me? I think these are 3 pretty solid selections. Yeah. Definitely think those are pretty good picks there. Definitely. I would be surprised to see who's going to go fourth here, as I know uh, the Niners have had some talks, but we'll see what happens. Well, thanks, Mel. Thanks for chiming in there. Maybe we'll head over to you later. Enjoy the spread. Enjoy the food spread over there. But yeah, the 49ers are up next. Now, this is a team that a little bit miffed. They did lose the coin toss to allow the Lions to move up into the third spot. So the 49ers are now fourth after having a potential of being the number one pick. But as it is, we'll see how things fall here for them, as there's definitely a lot of good players out there available. And we're receiving word that the 49ers pick is on its way, and let's find out who they have. With the fourth pick of the NFL Stableford Cup III draft, the San Francisco 49ers and Crushtastic 8 select Pies 11. So it's Scott Pizer who's going fourth. What a pick! I mean, we haven't heard much from Scott lately, and I just actually the league had actually just reached out to him, and he's good to go. He is ready for this Stableford Cup 3, and I'm surprised the 49ers went this high with him, but at the end of the day, it's Jason's pick, and wow, I think he knows something we don't. I think I just have a feeling after playing against him many years now in the league and seeing what kind of a player he is, maybe this is a dark horse pick to me, and I think it could really work out if Pizer is on his game coming off the long layoff here from the March Madness tournament. He did play one game and it did not go so well, so little bit surprised by this pick. What do you think, Mel? Well, I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one, Tyler. I don't know. I don't know what Jason's thinking here, but you know what? This could be something. Maybe he had some scouts there that saw what he was doing, and maybe it's gonna turn things around for him. Who knows? Well, thanks, Mel. Thanks for that. I know you have all the info. Mel Kiper Jr. all over this story here. I guess there were some scouts looking at Pizer and maybe the 49ers saw something they liked. So, wow, a big shock at 4, as there's definitely some talent on the board yet that has definitely been on fire lately here in the league. But Pizer kind of just sneaking in there now, and he's the number 4 pick, and he's on the San Francisco 49ers. So good luck to them as we now head to the 5th pick and the Denver Broncos. So this is going to make things interesting. We have word that the pick is in, and they are very excited in that war room right now to see exactly what just transpired. As I believe we are on board here with a pick. With the 5th pick of the NFL Stableford Cup 3 draft, the Denver Broncos and Why So Serious 21 select D. Dix Jr., 509. David Dix Jr. gets picked 5th. A little bit of surprise that he fell that low, but he is a solid player, and the Broncos are getting a good one here, folks. David Dix, playoff contender usually every year in the league, and just had a little bit of a stumble this past season. But the Broncos are going to try to pick him up and get him going again. And wow, this is going to be a big pick going forward, I believe, for that squad. As now we go, I'm going to recap what we have seen so far. We've had Insane Eric with 0 handicap, Pat Strife with 0, Horace Phoenix no handicap, Pies 11 had 0, and now David Dix has a 0 handicap. So out of those, Pizer's probably the biggest surprise because he was down, I believe, in Elite at one point, but he's been pretty inactive on the tour these days. So wow, we're gonna have to see how things go. But are there more surprises in store here in this first round? We'll find out. Maybe we'll find out here with the Rams pick, as I believe they are ready to go here at the number 6 spot. And let's find out what we have brewing here. With the number 6 selection in the NFL Stableford Cup III draft, the Los Angeles Rams of Cup and Up select Lefty 79. Whoa! Now who saw that one coming? Lefty 70. Lefty goes 6th in the draft. There's so many great players in this draft, and I think Kevin must have saw something in March Madness. They went to overtime with the Packers in that tournament. Maybe Kevin saw something there, but wow, Lefty definitely he's got to be very happy to be teamed up with the Rams right now, as Kevin is a very solid player, and I think these two they both run competitions in their spare time, and now they're going to be on the same team together in NFL Stableford Cup 3. So this is going to be interesting, as Lefty does get 1 point of handicap. So he's the first player selected that has handicap. So there are some others out there that have had 0, but wow, this is whoa, another surprise on the board there, as Lefty is now selected and off the board, going to LA. Not bad for this time. Not bad weather, that's for sure. So we'll see how that all works out. As we now go to lucky number 7, who will it be? It is the New England Patriots on the clock, and I am hearing that they are ready to go, as Franz has his selection queued up. With the 7th selection in the NFL Stableford Cup 3 draft, the New England Patriots of Franz select Greg McMillan, 64. Whoa! That's a pick out of nowhere, as Greg has not been in the league now for about 3 months since the season ended. But that could be a very sneaky pick, as Franz and Greg know each other pretty well. And I think that might be what went into this selection, as that 7th spot is now belonging to Greg McMillan, who does get 1 point of handicap, and will be joining the New England Patriots in Stableford Cup 3. Wow, that's kind of a shocking selection. If you think about it, maybe Greg would have been around in the 2nd round, but the Patriots really wanted him, and they got him. So Greg has to be feeling pretty good about that, being picked in the 1st round after not even having swung a club in 4 months. So you gotta love that. This draft has had it all so far. We've had surprises. We've had all kinds of things so far in these first 7 picks. I'm excited to see where we're gonna go with this, as we now head to the Ocho, the 8th pick in this draft, and I think it is belonging to who do we have? Well, we're going to the Bills Mafia. That's where we're going. And Patrick, I believe, is ready to go with his selection, and let's find out who it's going to be. With the 8th pick in the NFL Stableford Cup 3 draft, the Buffalo Bills select Ty Lannister. So it's Ty Lannister, Kike, who's going to Patrick and the Bills. That's a very solid pick. Kike does get 1 point of handicap, but he is a solid player up in CCA who I know pretty well. And that's a very good pick, I think, for the Bills, after the last couple might have been a little bit of maybe a couple head scratchers in the first 7 picks, but the Bills went solid, I believe, here, and I think they're going to get rewarded with a really good pick. Ty Lannister has done well generally in these tournaments, and he's a solid selection, and I know that the Bills Mafia are going to welcome him in with open arms, and definitely are looking forward to seeing how he performs. So, we're 8 picks in. We're a third of the way through already. Let's see what the 9th pick brings, as it is the Minnesota Vikings who are now on the clock, and I believe the pick is in. With the 9th pick of the NFL Stableford Cup 3 draft, the Minnesota Vikings of Andrew select As you do, 64. Okay, that's a very interesting pick as we have not had him in the league yet. He's been on a lot of posts, liking a lot of posts in the thread, and you gotta love that enthusiasm. And I think Andrew may have noticed that as you do 64. I believe that's known as Ross. Is a very solid player. He's used to the team format as he's played in other competitions already. I believe he's in the Brew Crew, and he's a very good player. I don't believe he gets any handicap though. No, he does not. But Andrew gets 1 point on his own. So at the end of the day, the Vikings with the ninth pick did pretty good there. I think. I think that was a really solid pick to get a player of his caliber this far down in the first round. So look out for the Vikings as they're looking to get into the. They're looking to get far in this cup. As Andrew, a little bit disappointed after his March Madness performance, comes out of the gate with a really nice pick here at number 9. And now we head to the 10th selection, and another player who's had a heck of a year in this league so far, and that's Mike Rubino of the LA Chargers. Who will he have in mind here at the number 10 spot? There's so many players out there yet, and let's find out who is heading to the Chargers. With the 10th pick of the NFL Stableford Cup III draft, the Los Angeles Chargers of Bino select Chinatown 237. Whoa! Chinatown goes in the first round! That's impressive. Now, I don't know if the draft strategy was like throwing a dart or picking cards or what it was, but hey, this could have been the plan all along, as we've heard in streams that Chinatown is a Charger fan. I'm pretty sure he's an LA guy. And I want to say he always said Oakland sucked in his streams, so this could be a match made in heaven here. As Chinatown gets a point of handicap, and he's been vastly improving along the way ever since he's been in the league. And he can put up some big numbers. So at the end of the day, this could be it's a shock of a pick, no pun intended with the Chargers, but this could energize this whole cup run here for them. As Chinatown, we know he's going to stream, we know he's going to have good words of encouragement for his people, and this could be big for the Chargers. It's got to be great for the confidence of Chinatown right now to know that he's a top 10 pick in this draft, and that Bino, a guy of his caliber, has got all kinds, put the confidence in him to put him that high up on his draft board. So you gotta love that. So wow, just one shockwave after another here in this first round, and it's not even over yet. As we now head to the 11th pick, who do we have here from our defending Super Bowl champion Cincinnati Bengals? There's still lots of good players on here. Let's find out. With the 11th pick of the NFL Stableford Cup III draft, the Cincinnati Bengals of Jason CK select the Taft Man. Wow, another under the radar pick here, as the Taft Man is getting 2 points in this competition, and he's definitely been vastly improved from when he first started off, as he made the playoffs with the Texans in the league. So the Taft Man is joining the Bengals. That's going to be. I think that's going to be after what the Bengals are able to do, after what Jason CK was able to do with Polecat last year in the Cup by taking the Panthers all the way to the finals. This has a very good ring to it here. I think this is going to be. I'm not going to say it's going to be like the Daffodils, but this is going to be a pretty solid group here. You got a guy in Jason CK who's definitely, a lights out player, but then you're going to have the Taft Man joining the jungle, and that is going to be interesting to see how he does, as he's going to have all kinds of confidence, knowing that he's got Jason CK and the Bengals support. So this is going to be huge, as we now are about ready to finish this very shocking first round with our 12th pick, and it is going to be Tag Rocket Don's New York Giants, the defending NFC champions in the league, who will get this pick. And let's find out who it's going to be. Wow, I don't even know who. It could be anybody at this point. With the 12th and final pick of the first round in the NFL Stableford Cup III draft, Tag Rocket and the New York Giants select Mav Hockey 19. Wow, how did Mav Hockey fall to number 12? Oh my! Well, he's in the first round at least, but Mav Hockey's a heck of a player. Tim, he's not going to get any handicap in this, but he is a solid player to say the least, and he was in the toughest division in football in Stableford last year with the Cleveland Browns, and made a good showing of himself in that division. And now he's going to join up with Don Tagrocket, and wow, this is going to be a formidable duo to have to deal with. But Don, with the 12th pick, really got great value here, and kudos to him. I mean, he had a really solid draft board from the looks of it, and with a lot of the first round picks kind of going off the board a little bit, Don stuck to his guns and I think he got the best player available here. So good for him. As that is going to conclude the first round, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, what a first round it was. Now we got more in store though. We got 12 more picks to go, and I'm going to get you through that as we are at lucky number 13. And who's going to lead us off in this second round? Well, we're going to go over to the Jacksonville Jaguars of Corey, and we'll find out. Do we have any more surprises in store here with this 13th pick? Let's find out. And we had a little bit of a commercial there. Didn't want that, but let's take it up to our commissioner and let's get this second round going. Welcome to the second round of the NFL Stableford Cup III draft. With the 13th selection, the Jacksonville Jaguars of Corey select Platypus Brig. Whoa, Platypus with a nice 13th pick there, and he gets in a good situation with the Jaguars, who are a familiar division rival, and maybe that was why the Jaguars had him so high on their list, but this is not a bad situation here as we see the full team now of the Jaguars. It's Corey, Pat Strife, and Platypus Brigade getting 2 points of handicap, as Platypus will bring 2 points to the table. So maybe there was a little bit of a strategy there to get some handicap on the team. But as it is, that Jaguars team looks very solid on paper. And kudos to Platypus for getting picked 13th in this draft with lots of talent still left out there. And whoa, we're just getting started here in this second round, as we now head to pick number 14 and CF's Detroit Lions. And I believe the pick is in, folks. Let's find out. With the 14th pick in the NFL Stableford Cup III draft, the Detroit Lions of CF select Art Vandelay. Art Vandelay gets on the Lions, and is that a sentimental pick? I don't know, but Art is back home. He is back to the team that he grew up as a fan of, the Detroit Lions, getting Vandelay. Wow, that's a big pick for them. I think Art's going to play lights out, knowing that he's representing the Lions in this cup, as that is a team that he has a great affinity for. And let's go over the Lions' final roster here heading into the cup. It's CF, who gets a point of handicap, Horace Phoenix, who doesn't get any handicap, and then you got Art, who does get 1 point. So the Lions are going to have 2 points of handicap in this competition. So maybe a little bit of a surprise pick there at 14, but you know what? CF and Art, they're very good competitors. They've known each other a while, and maybe CF knows something we don't about this Lions Vandalay marriage here. This could be interesting. As we now head to the next pick in this draft, we're at 15th overall, and it's the third pick in the second round, and it's belonging to Crushtastic and the San Francisco 49ers, who are now on the clock. Let's find out who it's going to be. With the 15th pick in the NFL Stableford Cup III draft, the San Francisco 49ers of Crushtastic select Sky Blue Ben. Okay, that's a solid pick there for the Niners. Sky Blue Ben in the second round. Uh, wow, he could have gone maybe a little bit earlier, as he's been playing really well lately with the Cowboys. But Sky Blue Ben now heads over to San Francisco to join the team of Crushtastic, Pizer, and himself. So Sky Blue Ben does bring 1 point to the table for the 49ers in handicap. So they're going to need to play really solid, and I think they can do that. If Pizer is training hard like we know he is, and then you got Crush, who is always a solid player, and then you got Sky Blue Ben, who lives, eats, and breathes NFL Stableford. I think you got a pretty solid group there, and it wouldn't surprise me if they can make it to that to that final seven. So definitely, Crush has an eclectic group there, I think, because I know one player hasn't played in a while, and then there's a player that plays all the time. So this is going to be interesting to see how the 49ers go forward here in Stableford Cup 3. As we now move to number 16 overall, and we head over to Why So Serious and the Denver Broncos with their second selection. And I believe they're ready to go. They're not wasting any time. With the 16th pick in the NFL Stableford Cup 3 draft, the Denver Broncos of Why So Serious 21 select X Danny X. Danny has been selected. Now, he was a sub for 1 week for the Chiefs in the end of the season last year, and he put up a big performance to play spoiler in that final week in week 18. Now after that he had some issues continuing on in the league. Was not available in the March Madness tournament, and was not and I did reach out, and he is a goal for the Stableford Cup 3. So the Broncos definitely going with an unknown commodity here. But for that 1 week, he played some lights out master difficulty Stableford. So a very solid pick here, I think, at 16. You want to take a chance on a player? That's exactly what you want to do in the second round. And we'll go over the Broncos roster here. It's Why So Serious, D Dix Jr., and Danny. And that's no handicap. So they're playing zero, as they have nobody on the team with handicap. So expecting a ton of birdies out of that group, and some high scores as well, as they're going to need it to counterbalance some of the other teams who are getting some handicap. So the Broncos are going to go in with zero handicap, and that's okay. They can make this work for them all the way to the end, and we'll see if that happens. But as it is, we are now ready for the next pick here in the draft, as we are moving towards a very interesting second round here. We are in a very interesting second round. It is now the Los Angeles Rams of Up, Cup and Up, Kevin, with their next pick, and they are ready in the war room. With the 17th pick in the NFL Stableford Cup 3 draft, the Los Angeles Rams of Kevin select Old Man Gaming 606. Okay, that's a solid pick. And now speaking as a teammate of Old Man's Gaming 606, I know Alan's a solid player. Plays in a lot of competitions on Xbox. And wow, we got quite an eclectic team here of three different consoles. So you know what? We're not going to be able to probably play live, but you know what? We're going to have some solid. I think we're going to have some solid camaraderie here, as I've been in contact with Old Man Gaming, and very nice guy. And I'm looking forward to seeing, as a fellow Ram for this tournament, how we shake out as we go now to the Rams roster for an update. It's coming up with 0 points of handicap. Lefty gets one, and Old Man Gaming gets one. So 2 points of handicap for the Rams. It's right in the middle as the highest the team is going to have. Uh, that's kind of not a bad shake out there, getting 2 points of handicap, because I don't think you're going to see any teams with more than maybe 3 or 4 points. As I know we have one out there that's got, I believe, two already. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, the Bengals already have two with the Taft man. So as it is, we are now heading to the Patriots' next selection. They shocked us already in the first round. What will Franz have in store in round number two? Let's find out after I do a quick cough. All right, done with that. As we now head to the next pick. With the 18th pick in the NFL Stableford Cup III draft, the New England Patriots of Franz select Dan SCFC. So it's Dan, a new player who has never played in the NFL Stableford League or any other competitions, brand new into the league, gets picked by the Patriots. And whoa, this is going to be a team with a lot of unknowns here, as there were some other proven players still left in this draft. But Dan's got to be thrilled to be playing with a player like Franz, and also Greg, who's been around as well for a while. So this is going to be a team with a lot of experience, trying to help a brand new player along, and we'll see how that works out. As we know, Franz is very good at what he does, and this could have been a strategy pick, as Dan will get 3 points of handicap. So Franz will get zero, Greg gets one, and Dan gets three. So right now the Patriots are topping out at 4 points of handicap and are now leading in that category. So that's an interesting selection for Franz, to take Dan, who's brand new to this league and this type of format. So we'll see how that goes, as we now head to another team in the AFC East, and let's find out what their pick is going to be. It's going to be Patrick and the Buffalo Bills with their second round pick, and there's definitely some solid players still out there. With the 19th pick in the NFL Stableford Cup III draft, the Buffalo Bills select in this style 99. Solid pick there. I was surprised he dropped this far, honestly, as Lucas has been playing some really good Stableford in the last few weeks here in the March Madness tournament. Maybe flew a little bit under the radar with the Bears, but he dropped a little bit in my opinion, and wow, he finds himself in a pretty good situation joining the Buffalo Bills of Patrick. And let's look at their final. Let's look at their roster. We have Patrick. We have Ty Lannister, and in this style, 99, who gets 1 point. So the Bills will be getting 2 points of handicap. So that's pretty solid, and three pretty solid players there to boot. So Bills Mafia's got to be excited for that pick, and I'm excited for them as long as we don't have to play them. So as we as we continue, we are now at pick number 20. And let's find out who Andrew will be selecting. With the 20th pick in the NFL Stableford Cup III draft, the Minnesota Vikings of Andrew select Prowse 00, otherwise known as Pro W Dino or Dino. Sean has been in the Stableford League now for about the last, I think he started joining about the 13th week or so, and he's had his ups and downs, but this is definitely not a bad pick here for the Vikings, as Prowse will be bringing 2 points to the table in handicap. So the Vikings roster will be Andrew with 1 point, uh, as you do 64 with no points, and then Prowse with 2. So the Vikings will be getting 3 points of handicap in the cup. So this is a solid pick here for the Vikings. We're getting toward the end here, but there's still, maybe one other pick here that maybe could have been a little bit higher up, but we're gonna find out who it's gonna be. As I know, if you haven't been selected yet and your name hasn't been given yet, don't fret. I mean, everybody's gonna get picked here, and at the same time, some of these picks, some of these are gut feels, some of these are probably strategic picks, but yeah, I mean, just a couple guys that may have fell that I was a little bit surprised by in this second round. So, but as it is, we are now going to head now to pick number 21 in blackjack, and we'll see if the Baltimore Ravens can hit 21 here, as they are next here on the clock. And it looks like Eddie is about ready to go here with his selection. With the 21st pick of the NFL Stableford Cup III draft, the Baltimore Ravens of Eddie select Zuby 97. That's a good pick there. Out of the rest of the players that were left, Zuby's definitely shown a lot of improvement. He had a good run in March Madness, and maybe he's going to take it a little personally that he fell a little bit in this draft, as he's been really playing really well. And definitely got to think that's a really good pick for the Ravens there, as Zuby will bring 1 point to handicap to the proceedings, and the Ravens will have B More Golf Pro and In St. Eric with 0 points, and then Zuby will get 1 point for a total of 1 for the Ravens. But wow, with that lineup, I don't know if they're going to need any handicap. So that's an impressive lineup for the Ravens, and Eddie, he made that number 1 pick work for him, and that second round pick was not too bad either. So we are now heading now to the home stretch here, and pick number 22. And who is it going to be? It's going to be Bino and the LA Chargers. He surprised us in the first round by taking Chinatown. Who does he got on his mind here in round number 2? With the 22nd pick in the NFL Stableford Cup III draft, the Los Angeles Chargers of Bino select Sandsaver 01. Okay, that's another new player. Sandsaver Mike comes from the Dirtbags group, and he's joining a fellow Dirtbag on his team in the NFL Stableford Cup 3. So a big thing for Bino is he wanted to play with a friend. Well, I think he's got one here in Sandsaver, and he might have one in Chinatown as well, as that's a pretty decent trio there, as the Chargers are going to be getting a 4 point handicap every week. Bino gets 1, China gets 1, and Sandsaver will get 2 points. So that's not a bad strategy there if you're going to have players that you're familiar with, and you're also going to get some handicap. It could work for them. I mean, and Bino is good at picking courses, and he'll pick the course that he's got a guy on his team in Sandsaver who is a designer, so that's going to help a little bit. So I think this Chargers team, don't sleep on them. I think that Chinatown pick might bear some fruit here as well. So definitely looking forward to seeing how this Chargers team will go in this cup format going forward here. But we're almost there, folks. We're at the second to last pick here in this draft. And we know it's only 2 players to go, and we'll find out which one is going to join the defending champs in just a moment here, as I believe we are ready. With the 23rd pick of the NFL Stableford Cup III draft, the Cincinnati Bengals of Jason CK select Gatorman. Okay, well, Gatorman, that's another new player in the league, and the Bengals are now looking like a team to be reckoned with here, with 4 points of handicap now. As a future Buckeye, Jason has 0. The Taft man will be with 2, and Gator Man will have 2. So we got a couple guys with man on that squad, and then we got the future Buckeye. So that's going to be an interesting group there, the Bengals this year. They're going to look to keep the momentum going from the season into this Cup season now. So I just with the handicap, I just think if they play even close, if they play par, that's still good. So we'll see how it goes for the Bengals in this Cup format. As definitely looking forward to seeing how that's going to work. I know Jason has had experience playing with players who've had enough handicap in the past, so this could be the strategy, and it might not be a bad one. So as it is, we are now, well, obviously we know now who's next, and it's the 24th pick and the final pick of this NFL Stableford Cup 3 draft. I want to thank everybody for joining me in this, and I hope you enjoyed the proceedings, and let's find out who this pick is going to be. First of all, I want to thank everybody here tonight for joining me in the NFL Stableford Cup 3 draft. I want to thank the Hyatt Hilton for their friendly accommodations and all our network partners for this draft coverage, including YouTube. As it is, we are now at the final pick of the NFL Stableford Cup 3 draft, the 24th overall selection. The New York Giants of Tag Rocket select Polecat. Thank you again, everybody, for joining the YouTube stream, and good luck to all teams in the Stableford Cup 3 tournament. So there we have it, folks. The final pick in the NFL Stableford Cup 3 draft goes to the Giants, and it is Polecat. Now, we forgot to move the Giants onto the screen, but that's okay, as we knew they were the last pick, and we're going to end with them on the screen anyway. So as it is, Don, his roster is looking like him, Mav Hockey, and Polecat. So that's 3 points of handicap that Polecat will bring to the table, and those could come in handy. Definitely against some of these other teams now that have a good amount. So that's what you want, but we'll see how it works. I mean, the Broncos have none going in, and you have 3 teams that have 4: the Chargers, the Bengals, and the Patriots. You have the Giants and Vikings who have 3, and then you have a few 4 teams with 2, with the Bills, Rams, Lions, and Jaguars. And then the Ravens and the 49ers have 1 point. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, especially with the bonus points. Anything could happen. You have Hail Marys in play as well, and it is your best 9. So if you put it all together on 1-9, your point total is going to thank you. But as this, I'm going to thank you, as this is Lefty79, the commissioner of the NFL Stableford League, thanking you once again for joining me in the NFL Stableford Cup 3 draft coverage. Definitely enjoy bringing this to you. I know drafts are always fun. Please do not take any of these picks personally, as these are all compiled from lists that I received from all 12 captains. So wherever you were on their list, it's not necessarily where you were drafted, as I had to compare 12 different lists. But as it is, I hope you enjoy the team that you are drafted on. And we have now a month now until the actual competition begins, June 5th. There may be a preseason week in there between 2 teams that will not be in the same pool. So I might set up some like test matchups just to see how the format works. So stay tuned for that. That would definitely take place around the last week of May. But as it is now, if you're a captain, please have your course selected by that either that preseason week or by June 5th, whatever is earlier for you. Uh, if you do not have a course picked by June 5th, I will have to pick one for you, or I will. I'll definitely have to do a random list or something for that. But I'm trying to get it for courses. The courses that are available to be selected must be tour worthy, and they must have been published on or after January 1st of this year. So that's going to include all the World Cup of Design courses. It'll include probably the National Treasure courses that start getting published on June 1st. Some might be, I don't know if they're going to have any published before that, but if you know there's a course that's coming out and you want it as your home course, just let me know and I will reserve it for you. But as it is, it must be tour worthy because I know we have some newer players that are coming in, and I want to make sure the courses are a little bit more to the standard that we're used to all playing. And with newer players, it'll be a good way for them to get used to the amount of difficulty that we have in the league with the master settings. So as it is, we'll keep it all fair that way. But as it is, what I'm going to do now is have all the captains take their time in selecting their courses. Uh, for the next few weeks, I will have the spreadsheet updated with the teams in each division. I will be selecting those after this stream, and I'll be posting those tonight in the spreadsheet. So you will find out what division you will be in and who your three opponents will be. You'll play each opponent twice, a home and away game, so you'll have 6 games on your schedule, and then it'll be the top 7 teams that advance to the playoffs. Uh, the format this year, wins and losses, are not as big of a deal as we are doing a point system. So it'll be 4 points for a regulation win, 3 points for an overtime win, 2 points for a overtime loss, 1 point for a regulation loss that is within 3 points or less, and then no points for a blowout loss of 4 points or above. So that's how we're going to do it this year, as it's going to be a little bit more of a cup type scoring format instead of relying on wins and losses and per win percentage. So I want to thank you all again for joining me, and I want to wish everybody luck in this cup tournament, the third installment. I really appreciate everybody for being in the league, and for the captains. Thank you for your communication this last week. I know it was a little bit hectic, but we got there and we got the draft in the book now. I'll get these all updated, these picks all updated online in the spreadsheet and ready to go. So as it is, I'll have the teams all selected for the divisions. We'll get those put into the spreadsheet, and I'll make a schedule based on that, and then we'll go from there. So each player on the team will be playing each role twice, and that will be random. I'm gonna make that random because I know the captains will get to choose in the playoffs which role they want each player to be. But as it is in the regular season, each player is going to get a random placement for each role. And if you're listed first, you are going to play holes 1 through 3 and 10 through 12. If you're listed second, you're going to play 4 through 6 and 13 through 15. And if you're listed third, you're going to play the last 3 holes of each 9, and you'll be the one getting the chance to make the big points with the Hail Marys as the offensive coordinator. So I'm going to have each person get that role twice in the season. So some weeks it might be tough, some weeks it might be easy. So you never know how it's going to be depending on who you match up with. So, but as it is, anybody can beat anybody in any given Sunday in the NFL Stableford League, and that's why we love it so much, and that's why I love being the commissioner, and that's why I really appreciate all the teams that did not boo me during this proceedings. And I also want to thank Mel Kiper for some of his comments that he made earlier in the draft. Uh, he's enjoying the spread over there at the hotel. So as it is, thank you all again for joining me. I am now going to bid you farewell, and thank you again for listening. and joining me for the NFL Stableford Cup III draft. Take care, everyone, and the next time we'll join you, we may have a power rankings for these 12 teams prior to the beginning of the season. But until then, this is Lefty79 saying, take care, everyone, and I'll see you down the road. Goodbye, everybody.